There are some moist words from Picasso that we can get to learn on how to live to be the best versions of ourselves. Rules are made for distraction, Picasso said you should learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. I'll read that again. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Need to be myself and not some sheep with no balls, blindly following the flock down a path that leads to nowhere. You can fit in or you can change the world. Do not live as if you have 10,000 years left. Your fate hangs over you. While you're still living, while you still exist on this earth, strive to become a genuinely great person. These are wise words by Marcus, the Roman emperor. My name is Sophia Wawero, always happy to share light with the world. And this is another continuation of the 5 a.m. club, where we get to talk a lot about the journey before we get into learning how do we go about the 5 a.m. So there are some moist words from Picasso that we can get to learn on how to live to be the best versions of ourselves. Rules are made for distraction, Picasso said you should learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. I'll read that again. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Need to be myself and not some sheep with no balls, blindly following the flock down a path that leads to nowhere. You can fit in or you can change the world. Yet the truth is that we are watching them in their full blazing glory after years of following a process, one that involved ceaseless hours of practice. When we observe magnificent players in business, sport, science, and the arts, we are observing the earned results of a monomaniacal concentration around a single pursuit, astronomical focus on one skill, intensity of sacrifice applied to one aim, unusual levels of deep preparation, and extreme amounts of solid patience. Remember, every professional was once an amateur and every master started as a beginner. Ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary feats once they have routinized the right habits. And as always, we refer to Eliud Kipchoge as he gets to share so much about learning on how can we be the best versions of ourselves. He's been there to attain so much. Like he's broken records over and over again on a global space. Education is the kindling of a flame. Self-education is, I believe, the only kind of education there is. Heavily resist all piracy of your mastery from this world, tempting you into distractibility and causing digital dementia. Force your attention back to the Everest of potential, aching for fuller expression, and today release all reasons that feed any stagnation of your strength. Start being an imaginationist, one of those rare individuals who lead from nobility of your future versus via the prison bars of your past. Each of us thirsts for days filled with tiny bursts of miraculous. If we have the courage to look within, we discover that we do this because we have a series of holes within us. This takes us to the path of realizing why do we get into that space of self-sabotage, what really happens. And I love this part from the 5 a.m. club where it says the first 50 years of our lives are a lot about seeking legitimacy, We crave social approval. We want our peers to respect us. We hope our neighbors will like us. We buy all sorts of things we really don't need and obsess about making money we really don't enjoy. If we have the courage to look within, we discover that we do this because we have a series of holes within us. We falsely believe that material from the outside will fill what's empty within ourselves. Yet it never will. Never will. Anywho, when many of us reach the halftime point of our lives, we make a right angle turn. We begin to realize that we are not going to live forever and that our days are numbered. And so we connect with our mortality. Big point here. We realize that we are not going to live forever and that our days are numbered, and so we connect with our mortality. We realize we are going to die. What's truly important comes into much sharper focus. We become more contemplative. We start to wonder if we've been true to our talents, loyal to our values, and successful on the terms that feel right to us. And we think about what those we most love will say about us when we are gone. That's when many of us make a giant shift from seeking legitimacy in society to constructing a meaningful legacy. The last 50 years then become less about me and more about we. And this is where the service comes in handy. When you think about what am I leaving behind? How am I impacting the community, the society around me? Less about selfishness and more about service. We stop adding more things into our lives and begin to subtract and simplify. We learn to savor simple beauty, express gratitude for small miracles, appreciate the priceless value of peace of mind, spend more time cultivating human connections, and come to understand that the one who gives the most is victorious. And what's left of your life then becomes a phenomenal dedication to loving life itself, as well as a ministry of kindness to the many. And this becomes potentially your gateway into immortality. There's one quote I really love from the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. All change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. And this defines the 5 a.m. Club when we get there, where you'll get to see when I'm working on my routines, how will the first 22 days be like? It takes 66 days. It's been scientifically proven. It takes 66 days to form a new habit. So the first 22 days are so hard. The next 22 days get messy. But then what happens in the next 22 days as you approach the 66th day? Gorgeous days right there. Each of you carries a quiet genius and a triumphant hero within your hearts. Dismiss this as idealistic words of an elderly inspirationalist if you wish, but I am proud to be an idealist. Our world needs more of us, and yet I am also a realist. And here is the truth. Most people on the planet today don't think much of themselves, unfortunately. They secure their identity by who they are externally. They evaluate their achievement by what they've collected versus by the character they have cultivated. They compare themselves to the orchestrated and fake highlight reels presented by the people they follow. They measure their self-worth by their net worth, and they get kidnapped by the false thought that because something has never been done, it can't be done, depleting the grand and electrifying possibilities their lives are meant to become. This explains why the majority is sinking in the quicksand of uncertainty, boredom, distraction, and complexity. On your morning, elevate your life. So much to share. We just pretty much on the third step of Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. Club. It can only be a more beautiful journey.